Let's just go ahead and get this out there. Fox News is not our friend. Now, they might be the best or the least evil of all the other news media outlets, but I am not saying I trust them one iota. Trey Gowdy just proved my point.
Our system is reactive. Something bad happens, we react to it. And what people are crying for now is, how can we prevent this? How can we stop it? And the only way to stop it is to identify the shooter ahead of time or keep the weapons out of their hands. And so we're going to have a conversation of freedom versus protecting children. I mean, how many school shootings does it take before we're going to have a conversation about keeping firearms out? It's always a young white male, almost always. I mean, did anyone this morning think, I wonder if that was a female? Did any of y'all think that? I mean, there's been one school shooting involving a female. One. Yeah, Tennessee. But other than that, it is usually young white males.
So you heard Trey Gowdy there make the argument that at some point we're going to have to talk about gun control. That was one problem. Number two, he blamed white males. Now, this horrific incident that happened today in Minnesota is going to be politicized. The children that lost their life, I think there were 2, and the 17 that were injured, the wounds will never heal. The bodies have probably not even made it to the morgue. And we have both sides of the political aisle already jumping to conclusions. And if you think Trey Gowdy is your friend, you're wrong. And if you think Fox News is your friend, you're wrong. They are self-serving. And Trey Gowdy was a prosecutor. He was also a congressman. And apparently Trey Gowdy forgot where he came from. And it could be the multiple haircuts, I'm not sure, or the multiple hairstyles and all the stuff that goes into it. But what do you think about this? This is a tragedy that happened. And the first thing that anyone does, especially the left and the woke right, which is where I put Trey Gowdy, woke right, they go for gun control. They politicize and they stand on the graves of these children. It's wrong. The best thing that I could see possibly happening is that at some point we get retired law enforcement, we get retired military, ex-military, and we offer them an incentive. It would be tax-free. We offer them an incentive that you do 10 to 15 hours a week at a local school, maybe armed, maybe not, volunteer. It removes the taxes on your military retirement, your police retirement. It removes your property tax. You incentivize some of these military and veterans and ex-law enforcement to go and do this. It would prevent things like this from happening. It would make the schools not be a soft target. Now, we're going to move along here, and I'm going to show you some more examples of the hypocrisy from the left and the right.
I think it's either like you have to be honest and say what will actually work, which is what nobody wants to hear, which is that there are just simply way too many firearms and they're way too accessible. And even if
they're too powerful,
and they're too powerful, even handguns too. Again, that's why in Australia, it just doesn't matter if it's not politically acceptable to say it. I'm not here as a politician or anyone who works in politics. I'm a journalist. Whether or not you like it, the only thing that really works, if you really wanted to bring down gun violence, was to do what Australia did and to do what many other countries in Europe do. I realize I will get so much hate mail over this. People will tell me that I'm a communist and all these other things, and I'm so terrible, which also only reinforces the point, as I will definitely get, some sort of like
blowback,
not just blowback, but like threatening blowback, which is to say, like, these people like who are supposed to be so law abiding are so quick to tell me that, like, I ought to die or whatever else it is.
Or you better watch out.
Right. I think it's either like.
This was MSNBC already calling for gun control. And this guy references Australia. Australia, the bastion of freedom in the East. That's where they're going. That is where MSNBC is going on this tragedy. They are already campaigning on this. You heard it there. And I believe he is a communist. And I believe as soon as you take away the Second Amendment, you might as well get rid of the First. And he proved it for me. But you're seeing the irony and the hypocrisy. The way that these news organizations are leveraging emotion. They don't want to talk about the facts. And the facts cannot really be talked about here because this person, Robert, that carried out this heinous crime had some really vile and heinous stuff written on the magazines and on the guns themselves about a certain religion, about a certain president. And that is where the hatred and this heinous hate comes from. And this is where it ends. And apparently this person was transitioning. Mother and father had bought into it and had agreed to it. And this person was taking some medications to help with the transition. And we're seeing now that within 2 hours of the incident actually occurring, people on this platform and other platforms had all the details. There was a video, there was a manifesto filmed on YouTube. It's been removed, probably for a reason. Maybe not. Maybe to remove like this copycat stuff. We're seeing it. Let's carry on.
Our children can't walk around the community without fear of being hurt or kidnapped or having a drive-by. So it's what these numbers that they're expressing, we don't feel it in our quality of life. Our children can't.
So this is a gentleman in Washington, D.C., in support of Donald Trump's call to use troops because crime has dropped so much. He doesn't look like me, as you can tell. He might identify as a white guy, identify as a black guy as well. But we're seeing whenever you have a deterrent in place, crime drops. Why wouldn't that be the same method for these schools? You agree with putting some ex-military, retired law enforcement in schools, incentivizing it by removing their property tax, their sales tax, maybe their tax on their retirements? I think it'd be a great idea. You see here, average black guy in Washington, D.C., wearing a honey badger hat. He's not taking any stuff. Think about it. Leave a comment down below.
I have heard about a whole lot of hate that's being directed at our trans community. Anybody who is using this as an opportunity to villainize our trans community or any other community out there has lost their sense of common humanity. We should not be operating out of a place of hate for anyone. We should be operating from a place of love for our kids.
So this is the mayor of Minneapolis, and I agree with him for not wanting to use this incident to go after a certain group of people or for hatred, to vilify hatred, to glorify hatred. Pick your side. But this same mayor took a knee at the casket of George Floyd, a criminal with a very violent background, up to and including putting a firearm to a woman's stomach, drug dealer. And this mayor is now saying, don't go after a certain group of people for hatred. Don't go after the trans community. But at the same time, the liberal news media and Trey Gowdy, Fox News, will go after the law-abiding Second Amendment community. Ironic? Hypocritic? That's for you to decide.
So the question was on a possible motive and a relationship to the church or to the school. I have no information to share on a motive other than saying again that there was some sort of manifesto that was timed to come out on YouTube. It's been taken down and our investigators are going through that to try and develop a motive from that. Additionally, there are these 3 search warrants happening in residential locations, and we may very well, find more information or writings that could give some sense to that, but we don't have that now. And I cannot confirm a relationship between the suspect or his family and this church at this time, but that's obviously something we're looking very closely at.
That's the chief of police lying to your face. We know the connection already. The shooter's mother works there. I believe the shooter went to school there, according to the facts that I've seen floating around. He's right, the YouTube video was taken down. I downloaded a copy of it. I'm sure others did as well, because it had everything. The entire manifesto showed all the pages. It showed the images of the magazines and the barrel to the firearms with some real hateful, vitriolic words for Donald Trump, for a certain religion, and glorifying another religion of peace. Let's just call it that. This is an out and out lie by the news media and by the Minneapolis Police Department. Amy Klobuchar, Tim Walz is in the background there, and so is the mayor of Minneapolis. It is all lies. They are lying to you. Why? To protect this weird ideology that has been glorified, and also to protect the hatred that the Democrat Party has suddenly latched onto. This is the new Maryland man, this Robert Westman. This is the new Maryland man. Innocent. I'm sure there'll be a petition to lower the flags to half-mast in Minneapolis in honor of this horrible person. Donald Trump in the meantime has come out with an executive order ordering the flags lowered in half-mast until August 31st in honor of the children that lost their lives in this incident and those that were injured. We're seeing such irony and hypocrisy within the news media and within the Democrat Party. It's disgusting what we're seeing.
Aren't there some people who genuinely feel like they're born in the wrong body? I know people who've had the surgery and they seem happier.
So certainly people have existed that believe they're the other sex, and they're not, but they believe that. And that doesn't mean that there aren't people who believe this. They certainly believe it. There's also schizophrenics who believe that they're Batman, who believe that they can fly off of the top of the Empire State Building. Like, there's people who believe all kinds of things. It doesn't make.
He brings up a great point here, Robbie Starbuck and John Stossel. There are people that believe they are Batman and can fly off of buildings. It doesn't make it work. It doesn't make it true. But you can believe whatever you want. You're not going to force me to believe whatever you want. I'm not going to believe something that just makes you comfortable. It'll never happen. Never. And I'm sure many of you think the exact same thing. Leave a comment down below if you know somebody that thinks they're Batman or Robin or Wonder Woman or Miss America. Hell, I think I'm a millionaire until I go to the bank. Doesn't make it true. Maybe the guy that is sending me my cash should believe it. Love to get your opinion. What we're seeing is the decline, the decay, and the downfall of the news media and reality. And Fox News is at the tip of the spear. Just because they're the best of the worst does not make them good. Trey Gowdy, you're part of the problem. Fox News, for platforming Trey Gowdy, you're also part of the problem. Smash the like and subscribe button. This is the Ben Dykes Show. I'll see you on the road.